Nearly a month has passed since the decision was reached that Talion would stay and train in order to protect his mother from those that were sent here to harm her. And in that time, many changes have taken place. It was decided that, above all else, their survival as a family needed to be placed first and foremost. And so, dramatic changes took place in order to ensure it. The first of which being that Vera began to train with Melody. She had gathered an increasing assortment of new magical abilities and knowledge since her separation with her daughter. Now that they had reconnected, and the decision was reached that Talion would be staying, it was all the more important that Melody learned these new abilities in order to ensure that she could protect herself against those that would come seeking Talion. Talion would of course watch their training, as Vera suggested he did, so that he might learn a bit about magic. Even if he could not use it himself, learning about human magic could help him greatly in defending himself against it, should any humans be contracted in his retrieval, or he simply come into conflict with one. Even though he could not use the spells, being able to recognize certain types of spells when they're cast and what to expect of it could prove greatly useful in a dangerous situation in which he finds himself in conflict with a caster. But Talion wasn't left out in the cold when it came to practice and training. Vera was not an expert in the use of weapons, but nonetheless she thought it important that Talion become as proficient as possible. So she brought to him a sturdy sword and told him to begin acquainting himself with it, becoming comfortable with its use. She could not teach him stance or proper swordplay, but becoming comfortable with wielding a sword, handling it, cutting through things. Though it was a base level of training, it was better than nothing. Becoming at least competent enough not to drop a sword while he was fighting would only help him in the long run, as the process that Vera was going through was a lengthy one. When she was not with Melody training and teaching her new magical spells and abilities, or trying her best to get some rest, as she had moved into the house along with them, beginning to make herself at home and bring things from her own homestead. If she was not doing these things, then she was gone, hopping through those magical doorways of hers, off to who knows where, bouncing about to all of her many different contacts, trying to gather information, however much she could, in the attempts and hopes of finding a teacher for Talion. But this was especially a lengthy endeavor, as she had to keep her objectives a secret, making sure not to reveal Talion, his mother, or their circumstances to anyone. So she was forced to play a long game. She went with the story that she was interested in increasing her dealings with the demon realms, perhaps even traveling to them, in order to increase the profitability of these interactions, and in order to increase her safety and how well she could negotiate. She needed to know a great many things about demons, their culture, history, abilities, everything. Of course, her primary focus was to find out how demons' abilities actually work, how they gain them, how they train in their use and practice, in hopes of finding Talion a teacher, or learning to become competent enough to teach him herself. But this was a difficult task, since she couldn't let out the information about Talion. She had to work around it. If she were to ask too many direct questions about the same topic repeatedly, the people that she was dealing with might become suspicious. So she had to vary her conversations. Basically, she had to talk about all of demon culture, a wide variety of things, and press questions on many different topics, so that when she pressed questions referring to training demons, how they increase their power and abilities, and people who might possess information on this, or even be willing to do it, it would not be called into question or focused on. It would merely be another question caught in the mix of an ocean of other questions about demon society, behavior, abilities, and such. He had to ensure both Melody and Talion's protection. Unfortunately, this was massively increasing the timeline and making things move slowly. So, in the meantime, she taught whatever she had already known about the demon world, as well as whatever information she could pick up that might be useful to both Melody and Talion. And there was a wealth of knowledge to learn. For starters, Vera found out that there are actually more than one type of demon. Not in the sense that one's big or one's small or one's red or green. One has horns and one doesn't. Not simple differences like this. No. Rather, there were two different places in which demons come from. Basically, the defining aspect of what type of demon one was depended on their origin. True demons are actually emissaries of hell itself. Mindless, ravenous monsters. Creatures born of the corrupted souls of human beings, tortured into oblivion, their essence scattered in the pits of hell after they have lost all sanity, sense of self and worth, memory and knowledge, and their soul simply ceases to be. Their essence scattered into the ashes of hell and recoalescing into a demon, a true demon. These tend to be the worst to deal with for many reasons, most of which are because of their motives. Their objectives are very base and pure. They want only suffering, blood, pain, destruction, and hunger consume their every waking moment. They think, dream, hunger for nothing else. These are truthfully the only true demons. The other beings that are called demons are in fact something else entirely. They are actually more like monstrous races that simply possess demonic energy and ability. You see, in the demon realms, there are actually fissures, tears that open up into multiple different realms. These fissures actually allow the energy from these other realms to pass into theirs. As such, there are energies from countless different realms that swirl about within the demon's realm. These massively different coalescing energies are what create the wide variation of races, both monster and demon, that reside within the demon realm. Why there are so many different types of them that vary so widely in appearance, physical form, behavior, and ability. The demons that come from this realm possess demonic energy, no doubt, but this is only because they originate from a realm which is filled with an ambient amount of demonic energy that sifts out from the hells. Unlike actual demons. They are not born from the corrupted souls of human beings that were destroyed and shattered, burnt away, leaving only the energy of their spirit coalesce into something else. No, like human beings, they are simply a race that developed the demonic energy and the other energies that sift into their realm from other planes of existence, infuse themselves to these different races in different balances, depending on where in the realms they came from. How close they were to individual fissures dictated the concentration of these different types of energies within them. So, in other words, though they were called demons, truthfully, they were just beings who possessed demonic abilities, demonic energy, but not actual demons.